Executive Committee of the European Diabetes Association strictly regulated the work of the organizers at numerous points. Such was the organization of the already mentioned poster lectures common at scientific conferences. These were held in Pavilion D. The planners differentiated between the poster lectures of the different days using color coding, so even those who had left their detailed program booklets in the hotel knew when and what was taking place. Many think this method of the exchange of ideas to be a more human way than the lectures taking place in the large auditoriums.
Well, this is undoubtedly the biggest international conference ever on diabetes in the world. So that's a challenge to start with. Beautiful weather here, everything has worked smoothly. The welcome from everybody since arriving at the airport through to the minutiae of detail in all the sessions has been absolutely wonderful.
The rich cultural program mentioned so often, the quintessence of which the participants of the conference experienced, culminated in the performance of the Honvéd dance ensemble. Although the critical among us might say that the guests were moving on from one reception to the other, we must point out that it is not easy to entertain over 10,000 people at the same time. The same night lovers of classical music were able to attend the performance at the Hungarian State Opera. During the conference, every day between 12:30 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, a sandwich buffet welcomed the guests. According to the statistics, nearly 1 million sandwiches and cakes were consumed. Well-organized work was needed to serve the guests properly.
Blagus Congress Bureau came to me about 8 months ago, looking for an independent consultant who can help them to select the best company to cater for this event. Obviously, it is a great task to cater for an event with 10,000. Organizing, logistics and the background are essential. So my expert colleagues and myself were looking for people who could do this job with absolute confidence at the highest standard achievable. The welcome party, which was based on a really interesting system of ideas, was a real success, organized by Gala Party Service. And Bulk Party Service also performed this extremely complex task lasting for 4 days, since it is very difficult to cater for 10–12,000 people a day and organize the background work unbelievably well in a professional way.
It happened quite often that the participants were listening to the same lecture in several different pavilions. This could only be made possible by broadcasting the events on a closed-circuit video network between the halls. It resulted in special interactivity because even remote inquirers could have easy access to the information they needed. A recorded version of the state-of-the-art lectures could later be seen and listened to on the internet as well.
I'm sure you will all agree that the organization is unbelievably good. The fact that there is a superior power above and beyond the local organizing committee and EASD itself, which has affected the temperature, is simply proof that we're none of us mortal or omnipotent. The planning has been extraordinarily good, and I would like you all to join me in thanking Thomas Halmos, Jorgi Jelmendi, and the whole team from Blagus, the PCO, for this extraordinarily well-organized meeting. Thank you.
The system that worked under my supervision and for which I was responsible was registration and the hostesses, so the human resources needed at the conference for the 10,000 participants. Despite the fact that many of them were amateurs and it was their first conference or it was the first time they had worked in registration or as hostesses, I think they did very well. The registration staff deserves absolutely top marks because they were able to use and pass on the information they received perfectly. At the beginning, there were a few minor problems with the hostesses. Sometimes they were not standing where they should have been standing, but it was also our fault, as we were not able to judge exactly what jobs were needed to control such a huge crowd. And in the first few days, certain positions that should have been necessary had not been established. But eventually, everything went well. We needed half a day to sort out, and after that everything was great, and it was a real success.